Hi everybody, and welcome to a card making session with me, Helen Armstrong from Panda Pop's Crafting Joyful Moments. I did promise you this earlier on the week when I posted on my Facebook. I said I would share with you how I made this wiper card. Now, just for quickness, I'm not going to make something as detailed as this, especially on the front, but I'm going to give you all the dimensions and show you how to make the mechanism that makes our little characters or objects pop out. Okay, so today I'm going to be using our new, well, I say new, it is coming in September, and it's an online exclusive and it's called Opulence. One of the great things about this is it comes with 2 sheets of pop outs, and you can see they are absolutely stunning autumn colours, and I'm going to use some of those pop outs this evening to make the card. I'm going to use my trimmer because we're going to do a lot of scoring. I have already cut out all the bits ready. I'm just going to quickly show you the rest of this paper for the Autumn Opulence because it is amazing. So the colours that it comes in are in this is Blackberry Bliss, Cajun Craze, Early Espresso, Golden Glow, Lost Lagoon, Peaceful Pine, Pecan Pie, Petal Pink and Berry Vanilla. It does have, you can see it's not white, this background, it is very vanilla. So I've got some gorgeous ones. I actually have used this sheet for this card. Some just stunning autumnal papers. I love the fact that this has got almost like a stenciled leaf effect, if you can see. That's just stunning, but I love the checkered effect on the front. You're going to say she loves every paper. Yeah, I do in this particular set. Well, there is one which is not as, I don't love as much, but this one is, yeah, that Blackberry Bliss in the background, that purple is just stunning with the orange and the pumpkins. Again, quite a nice one, nice distressed look on the back, like that. This has to be my favourite. Well, it was between these two. But, you know, I'm a sucker for mushrooms, so I love that. And also this gorgeous Lost Lagoon on the back. That's the same one as before. There's our mushrooms again. And the final one. So this is the front. So it's quite nice. It's nice for a basic pattern at the back. And then this is the side I actually love, which is the B side, with again those leaves on it. It's just really, really nice. And you know, there are plenty of leaves that you could add extra to, just to build up that pattern a little bit more if you wanted to. From the looks of it, it is petal pink, so you could use petal pink again, or just a slightly darker shade. Maybe do a stamp on, stamp off with the Golden Glow, maybe. That would look nice on there, or even a darker colour like the Early Espresso, which would possibly pick up these dots. Be lovely. So that's the gorgeous Autumn Opulence paper. I have only got 1 pack of this, but I can see me adding more this week because we have double rewards this week. And luckily, being a demonstrator, I get to pre-order the from the September to December catalogue and also online exclusives for September. So I will be putting another pack in my order and getting those double rewards that are on offer from on Wednesday, Thursday and Friday. So please take advantage if you're wanting to stock up on anything. It's definitely the right time on Wednesday, Thursday and Friday to do that. Okay, let's get and make our card. So, oh, sorry, forgot to ask how you all are. I hope you're all well. Yeah, it's my week off this week from my normal day job, and I have to say I am loving just having some extra downtime. So, I'm going to give you the dimensions for everything you need. So if you wanted to take a screenshot, you can do. So we need 4 pieces of card. And the first card is your back card, and it is 10.5 by 14.85 centimetres. And the DSP that goes on there is 10 centimetres times 14.35. Okay. We then have our second piece, which is 10.5, 10.5 by 12.4. The DSP is 10 by 11.9. The third one is 10.5 by 9.85 centimetres, with the DSP being 10.935 centimetres. And our final piece for the front is 10.5, 10.5 times 7.4 centimetres, and the DSP is 10 centimetres times 6.9. So they're your basis for the card. You then need three lots of 2.5 centimetres by 14 centimetres, and they're for the wiper, which does that bit. You don't need it that long, but it's just easier to work with, and then you can always trim off what you don't need. And then you also need 3 of these. So you need 3 lots of 3 centimetres times 17 centimetres. Okay. And we're going to be scoring at 2 centimetres, 7.5 centimetres and 9.5 centimetres. I don't know whether you can read that very well. I hope you can. But hopefully me saying it will also jog your memory. Yeah, so scored at 2, 7.5, 9.5 and 15 centimetres. And then we're going to do the marking, which I will show you on each of the ones that we do. So you'll get to see how we do it. So what we're going to do is we're going to mark 1.5 centimetres from our 9.5 centimetre score line. We're going to mark 1.5 on either side, and then we're going to come down 1.5 centimetres and then do some extra scoring. So that's what we're going to do. We're going to do those mechanisms first. Okay, I would advise you to make one of these and put the instructions on the back like I have done, and keep this safe. I'm actually going to keep all my little bits that I've written on, and I'm going to keep that as a separate part in a folder for cards that I'm making. So I think it's just a good idea. I can move everything out of the way apart from my strips that we need to make the mechanism, and then we can start building our card. Okay, so let's bring in my paper trimmer. Move the magnet out of the way. I hope you can see okay. So we are going to score these at 2 centimetres, 7.5 centimetres, 9.5 centimetres, and at 15 centimetres. Okay. I'll do the same again. So we've got 3 of these. So we're going to do 2 centimetres. Just make sure that when you're doing this, that you put it right up to the edge of your trimmer. And then we have again 7.5 centimetres, 9.5 centimetres, and 15 centimetres. And our last one, so again at 2 centimetres, 7.5, 9.5, and then 15. Okay, so there's our 3 scored. Now we need to do our extra scoring, but we need to do some measuring beforehand. So I'm just going to bring in my Stampin Up, my bone folder, pen, and then we're going to grab a ruler. So this is our 9.5 centimetre line. So we did 2, 7.5. This is our 9.5 centimetre line. So I'm going to go put my 1.5 dead on that score for the 9.5, and I'm going to just go up. And I know that 1.5 plus 1.5 is 3, so I'm going to do my other mark there. So we've got 2 marks, 1.5 centimetres at either side. And then the next thing I need to do is I need to mark 1.5 centimetres down, which is about there. Let's put a mark in the middle from the top. So we go from the top 1.5 centimetres down. So we need to do that another 2 times. So let's show you again. So I'm going to put it on the 1.5. And I'm going to mark at 1.5 on this side, 3 on this side because it's still 1.5, and then come down. Oh. Let's turn your rule around, Helen. That might be a good idea. So it's easier. Okay, so then we have 1.5 approximately there. Okay, and then we have one more. So again, I'm putting it on the 1.5 line.
The car is unlocked.
Go up there.
Please lock it.
And go up there. If you heard that, that is my automation telling me my car is unlocked. Yeah, so that's something I need to do after this video. And I'm just marking again, making the same mistake again. Don't make my mistakes. That's what I always say. Learn from what I do. And there is 1.5 down to there. Now, what I need now is my scorer. So this is my scoring blade. That's part of the, oh, can't even think of the tool name now. Take your pick tool. So the take your pick tool comes with 2 sides of scoring. We've got a larger one and a smaller one. So I'm going to use this smaller one. And it just locks into place. I currently have my cutting knife on the other side. And then I'm going to need my ruler again because we're going to use the ruler to line up those marks that we've made. And we're going to score down using the ball end. That makes a horrible noise, which I have to say I'm not a fan of. I'm a person that hates that chalkboard noise, and I also can't stand it when you get cotton wool. I can't stand the feel of cotton wool either. I don't know whether anybody is like that, but the chalkboard goes right through me, or somebody rubbing something, you know, yeah. It's not good. So we need to go over that a few times just to make sure that score is nice and good, quite deep. And now we're going to line up. Might be easier to do it on the inside, I think it is. Put your ruler on the inside, that seems to be easier. Okay, and we have this last one. Sorry, this bit's a bit boring as we do all this. And this last score. Okay. Right, so there are score lines done. And we can put that away now. So we have our mechanisms. Next thing we need to do, we are going to make the mechanisms now. So we need to just fold, and we can score at the same time. Oh, where's my little... I don't have my little bone folder by the looks of it. Oh, yes I do. Where's my little one? There we go. I'm just going to fold, just so we know. Okay, so we've got this, we've folded it. What we need to try and do is, this is the hard part. So you're going to fold that back a little bit and fold that in. And you're going to then fold that together. But what you need to do is make sure that your pieces are lined up as you do that. So I'm just going to make sure that that is down like that. And yeah, that seems okay. So that's your mechanism. Okay, let's just do the others. So I'm just using my bone folder. I should have stuck my mat down, shouldn't I? My piece of paper. Sometimes I stick it with some glue, just a couple of dots of glue, and it keeps it in place, which is really, really good. Okay, so then we're going to fold that down and fold that down, fold it in. And again, we're going to just make sure that it lines up nicely. And then our last one, same again, make sure it's lined up. Okay, yep, that's good. Okay, we're going to start building the card now. We'll put those together. We will put those together in a moment. And what I actually am going to do, I'm just going to put a couple of spots of glue at the edge of this paper, if I can get my glue working. Sorry, just give me 1 second while I do this. It doesn't want to come out, which is very annoying. Oh, there we go. Okay. Spots of glue on the paper. Okay. Hopefully that will hold it in place now. We're going to bring in all our other little bits now, and we are going to start assembling, and we'll do our mechanisms once we start assembling all the other bits, but we need to put our papers on first. So, as I say, I've used this pumpkin and the other side of this. I think it's really quite nice. It's one of my largest piece. So there should be 1/2 centimetre round, or 1/4 centimetre round all edges is, I'm hoping, or maybe it's a 1/2, I can't remember which. Sorry, brain has gone. It's now 20 past 8 in the evening, and my brain has definitely gone on its travels somewhere else. I don't know whether anybody else has that issue, but I certainly do, especially at this time of night. Yeah. So I hope you've had a really, I don't know why I'm turning that round. I hope you've had a really good day today, whatever you've been doing, and I hope life has been kind to you today. We took advantage of the fact of me being off work. I went to visit family today, so that was very, very nice. I haven't seen my brother and sister-in-law for a while, so it was really nice to catch up with them. And I've set a time for next time I go over. I'm going to take my crafting stuff, and my sister-in-law and I are going to do some paper crafting. So that'll be lovely. So I'm looking forward to the next time we go over, because any excuse to paper craft. And I'm there, so yeah, looking forward to it. Okay, that's number 2. So as you see, all I've done is alternate the patterns. You can choose whatever pattern you want, whatever kind of stamp set you've got. I decided this is so easy because you've already got the cutouts. But I will show you something that I did do with the cutouts, because they had slightly too wide a white line going around them. So I'll show you one which I haven't trimmed off. Yeah, it's definitely this side. But yeah. Now, I have seen other people use tear and tape for doing the mechanism and things like that. I'm just going to use glue for quickness today, and I'll let you know how well that fares. So there's my 4 pieces, and let me quickly show you what I mean. me just get a leaf and that will show you better. So as you can see, this has got quite a large white edging to it, and this was the same, but I decided I wanted to trim it down. I didn't want such a white edge to it, so you can do that as well if you wanted to. I'm just going to put my centerpieces on. I think we might grab some dimensionals though, just to stick that on. I'll bring the tearing tape across, just in case we decide to change our minds. Okay. So the thinking of you often came from a current stamp set, which is the Simply Leaves, and this is the Thinking of You Often stamp. Simply Leaves is another gorgeous one. Anybody who likes their autumn leaves, anything like that, it is fantastic. And you can actually, what I figured out the other day, is you can use the leaves to actually make a flower and build a flower. So there are other options with it. You don't always have to do what you think and use the stamps for. It comes with a punch, which is great. You just stamp and punch out. So I'm just going to put that there. I stamped it on there first, and then I decided to add another one as well. So let me just, I think we just need on the end, let's use some smaller ones just on the end. Just going to put one here as well. Let's peel off our backings. Okay, and then we can add this to our card. I'm just going to move it slightly so it's more even. Is that better? Okay, let's leave it like that. That's absolutely fine. And I do have some dots which I might put on. Do we want to put some dots? Might do at the end, let's see. Okay. Right, so the next thing is we need our cards and we need our mechanisms and all our other little bits. So I'm going to make these mechanisms, and what you need to do is fold them, and then you're going to just glue on this flap here, or tear and tape, it's up to you, but I'm using glue. Okay, and then we're just going to fold that over, hold it in place for a second, and then put it to one side and let it dry. Again, do the same thing. We're going to add that. I don't know why I decided that it was a good idea to keep putting the lid on my glue, but I do. Can't help myself. If you find that this is a little bit too big, what you can do is just trim off this edge bit here. See, automatically I've put the lid back on the glue. Oh, what we don't want is seepage, unfortunately. Okay, because we don't want that bit to actually stick to anything. Okay, that's my 3. That's all I needed. Okay, so what we're going to do is we're going to leave that one just to sit for a little bit longer. We are going to take our card. This is the first card. This is our very back card. And we are going to place our mechanism on there, but we're going to put glue just on this bit here. Don't put it on there put it on this bit here. Okay, and we're going to put that as straight as we possibly can, which I've not done. Okay. And then what we're going to do is we're going to put our other mechanism in. So what we can do is we can do them before we actually put them in. That's probably what I should have done. And what we're going to do is we're going to add just a little bit of glue to this bit here. And then we're going to stick our mechanism in, our little piece that's going to come out. I'm just going to hold that in place. And then you'll see when we open the card, that will come out and stick out straight. Okay, so that is that. And let's put our other one in here. So again, we're just putting glue on here. And adding it to the card. I hope you can see everything okay. I'm just going to double check. Did I put glue on both sides? Let me just grab the one I made earlier. Okay, I want to just double check what we did. Nope, just on that one side, which is exactly what we need. I've just bent my little Nomeo. Oh, I bent Nomeo, but he'll be fine. I'm just going to sort that out in a bit. Okay, so we've got that one in, and now we need to put this one in. So again, just on, if you can see, we're just going to put it on there. Probably too much glue. Let me just take some off with my finger and wipe it down. And now I've wiped most of it off. Let's put a little bit more on. Okay. Put my lid back on. And then slide that in. And making sure it is as straight as it possibly can be. Which is probably there. Okay. Right, so now we need to put some glue on this bit here. Okay, so we're just going to put glue on here and then add our next card bit. So we're going to line it up. Okay, I hope you can still see everything that's going on. We're going to line it up, press it down, and then we're going to add some glue on the back of this one. Again, line it up so it's straight on the bottom, which it's not. Okay, and I didn't put that one in very straight, did I? Okay. And then we need to add some glue here. Add this piece now. Make sure I put it the right way round. Line these all up. And then we need this bit. So again, obviously there's lots of different ways that you can make this card. You can have just maybe one popping out, two popping out. If you wanted to, you can have these bits slightly slimmer, so you could have one card picking out more than the other. It's up to you how you want to do this. Once you've got your mechanism, the world is your oyster when it comes to this type of card. Once you know how to make that mechanism, yeah, you can do just about anything with it. And then the last one, again, just a bit of some glue, and we're going to stick this to the front. Now, what I would say to you is that if you are in America or a country where it costs an awful lot to post, it does cost a lot to post in the United Kingdom as well. However, not as much as I believe in other countries. So what you can do is not put because it is quite thick. And so what you might want to do is maybe only do 1 or 2 rather than 3, and maybe not put any dimensionals on. But if you're just going to be handing this to somebody, you can do. So that works really quite nicely when you pull it out. Okay, so now we need to work out where we're going to put our mushrooms and the other bits and pieces. So I've got some acorns, some mushrooms. I think I'm actually going to put the mushrooms first. I quite like the mushrooms. I'm just going to have it so they're at a slight angle, maybe that type of an angle. So they're just peeking out like that. Yeah, I think that's where we're going to put them. So again, if you wanted to, you could put tearing tape, or you could put them on dimensionals if you wanted to. Didn't mention, but I've used Cajun Craze for the back of this. Okay, and I'm just going to now get my scissors. They are here somewhere. Get my snips, and I'm just going to trim this off. But what I also might do is when we put them all together is just trim round there. Okay, so that's that one. I think I will now do my pumpkins. I quite like the pumpkins. Now again, I'm going to put them at a slight angle. My pumpkin and my... Well, is it a pumpkin or is it gourd? I think it's probably going to be called a gourd, isn't it? And my acorn. Like that. And then let's trim this off. And then our final one's going to be our acorns. And quite like that, I think. So if you notice, I'm putting them just underneath there. Okay, bit of glue. Don't need a lot of glue, even though it's a brand new glue, hence the reason why it's coming out quite a lot. Okay, and then I'm just gonna trim that down, let it set for a little bit, and then we can push it back in. Now you'll notice we do have them coming out the top. I don't know why that didn't go back in. Okay. Do have them poking out the top, so maybe wanted to have the smaller ones instead, but you know what, it doesn't matter. I'm going to trim around there. It doesn't matter that they're peeking out the top because they're the same colours. Yeah, so let's trim round. Let's just trim round. So I'm just trimming around. I'm trimming slightly underneath. There we go. The same with this one. Let's just trim. If you notice, I'm just trying to get my scissors underneath so we can trim around and not have any of that showing. Okay. And then our last one. Okay. Now, if that annoys you, and it is slightly annoying me, but I'm happy with it. I am happy with it overall. And I hope you have enjoyed watching this. The last thing we need to do is put our card on the back for our sentiment, and then we will be done. So don't do what I've done, obviously, and make it stick out at the top. We do have, I'll show you what the, when we did the gnomes, when we did the gnomes, when I did the gnomes, you could see one of the ones peeking out. I said it doesn't look bad, but it can sort of ruin the surprise a little bit. If you can see something peeking out, because you're going to go, oh, what's that? But that is a really, again, nice card. And let's get on gnome. And I've done it so I've folded it. I haven't folded it very well. I've actually messed about with him. Let's have a look. What have I done with him? I did something with it. Yes, okay. Yeah, he doesn't want to fold, but it's because I've bent him. Yeah, I have definitely bent him. Ugh. Okay. So anyway, little Nomeo, his hat peeks up out the top, but I'm not worrying about him. His hat peeks up, but I quite like the hat peeking up. When I had this one, the gnome's hat actually is really tall. So all I did was I just trimmed it and put it over the top instead. So we have that one, and then we also have this one. So if you wanted to, you could add a bit more. If you wanted to add some more leaves and things on here, you can do. It's up to you how much you want to add and put on. So I hope you've enjoyed those tutorials. That tutorial. Yeah, and I hope you do make some. If you do make some, let me know what they, share them in the on the page and let me know what they look like. It'd be great to see. So as I said, I would, if I was you, make these. Again, I don't know whether you can see very clearly the black writing, but hopefully you can, and you can make a note of all the dimensions. So you remember you need 3, you don't have to make them 14 centimetres, but I just made them 14 centimetres. And then obviously you can make a template and with the instructions on the back for the mechanism. All right, thanks for joining me again. I hope you've enjoyed it. And as always, craft your joy, everybody. Good night. Bye.